Okay, class. Today we're going to evaluate expressions. Okay, so let's dive off into this. The first thing you need to know in order to evaluate expressions is you need to know about order of operations. So what is order of operations? Well, order of operations is a simple little thing that we've all learned, PEMDAS, and that stands for Please Excuse My Dear Aunt Sally. Okay? Where the P stands for parentheses, the E stands for exponents, the MD stands for multiply, divide, and the AS stands for add, subtract. And we work these problems till we're blue in the face, okay? But it's one of those things that you have to understand in order to evaluate expressions. So let's see if we can do a problem real quick. So here's a very simple order of operations problem. Now, granted, we get to use calculators, but today I'm going to take the calculators away because I need you practicing regular math. Okay, so we start off with the parenthesis line. Okay, so everything that's not a parenthesis, I'm just going to write it over again. Okay, and I'm going to do this parenthesis line. 5 minus 3 is 2. Okay, and then, so now on that line, all my parentheses are gone. So then I move to the exponent line. And I do the 5 to the second power, 5 squared. And we know 5 squared is 16 because we know it means 4 times 4. Okay, and then I just add the remaining things down because I haven't used it yet. The next thing that we're going to do is the multiply divide line. Okay, because just because it says multiply first does not mean you do multiply first. Okay, you do any multiply divide as you come across to it, moving across the line. So the 16 I don't have to do anything with, but this 14 divided by 2, I need to go ahead and do that. 14 divided by 2 will give me 7, and then I immediately turn around and multiply that by -3, which gives me a -21. Okay, so now we get down to the add subtract line, and by this point in time, we should end up with an answer. So now we have 16 plus -21, which actually gives us -5. Now, if you were to type this line exactly as is into the calculator, it should give you a -5 as well. Let's see if that works. Okay, so 4 squared, okay, plus 14 divided by parenthesis 5 minus 3 close parenthesis times -3. You should end up with -5, because our calculators, they do know order of operations. Okay, so that can tell you whether or not you get it correct or not. But what we're going to look at today is something called evaluating expressions. We've been talking about expressions. Yesterday we talked about numerical versus variable expressions. Well, the ones that we're going to deal with today are all variable expressions. Take, for example, 4y minus 15. But what we want to do is we want to evaluate that, and it says up here, to evaluate a variable expression, you first replace each variable with a number, okay, the number that they specify. Then you use the order of operations to simplify. Now, you've done these things before, so it's not anything new. Okay, so all we're doing is plugging and chugging, but I do want you doing it in a certain process. So here I've got 4y minus 15, so underneath that, I want you to actually plug that in. 4, and what does 4y mean? 4 times the value of y, in this case 9 minus 15. Now here's where we got to think about the order of operations. 4 times 9 gives us our 36 because we know we've got to do it first, and then we're going to subtract 15 from that. So 36 take away 15, well, the way I like to do it is do it in stages. I'm going to do 36 take away 10, which will give me 26, and then I take away 5 more, which gives me 21. Now you'll notice here I did not use any equal signs because I don't want you to. Expressions do not have equal signs. Again, everything in algebra is done vertically, so we just simplify it down. Do not put the equal sign like this because I do not want you doing that. What we're doing is simplifying these algebraic expressions. And when we're simplifying, it doesn't have an equal sign. So let's try a couple more real quick. So this one here says I've got 63 minus 5 times x. Evaluate this for x equals 7. So we take the 63 minus 5, and again 5x means 5 times 7. Well, the pitfall in this one is you're going to do 63 take away 5 to get 58, and then you're going to multiply that by 7. And that's not what this problem says to do. you've got to do this multiply first. So 63 minus 35. Now again, in this one, I'm going to do 63 take away 30, and then I'm going to take away 5. So 63 take away 30 gives me 33. And if I take away 5 more, I end up with 28. Now, in a problem like this where we got 4 and then a parenthesis t plus 3, well, what did I say the other day with this? This 4 means I'm going to get an answer to the inside, and then I'm going to multiply it by 4. Okay, so we got 4 parenthesis, and the value of t is going to be 8. So 8 plus 3, and then plus the 1. So we start with the parenthesis. We get 4 parenthesis, and the 8 plus 3 gives me 11. So 8, 9, 10, 11. And then plus 1. So now I'm going to do my 4 times 11, which gives us 44. And then now 44 plus 1 gives us 45. Now you may not do all the same work that I do, but I like working it all out, thinking it through. Prevents careless mistakes is what I'm trying to do. Okay? So let's try a couple more, and then we'll be done. So in this one, it says 3ab. Well, in the lesson that we had the other day, over simple interest, we know that anytime I put more than one thing together, it means to multiply them all together. So this means 3 times a times b plus c divided by 2 for all of these different variables here. So we got 3 times, and then the a is going to be a 2, and the b is going to be a 5. I'm going to add to that 10 divided by 2. So I'm going to do this stage, and I'm going to do this stage because it's the multiply and the divide. So 3 times 2 gives me 6, times 5 gives me 30, plus 10 divided by 2 gives me 5. So 30 plus 5 gives me 35. So let's have you try a few on your own. So here, try these 3 on your own, pause the video, and work those out. Okay, let's see how you did. So this one says I'm going to take 6 and I'm going to multiply it by the value of g plus h. So we got 6 parenthesis, g is 8, h is 7, so that's going to be 6 times, and then 8 plus 7 is 15. So 6 times 15 should give us 80. I believe that's right. Nope, excuse me, should give us 90. Should give us 90. And if you need to, you can come over to the side and you can multiply that out. 6 times 5 gives us 30, and then 6 and 3 gives us the 9. Okay. Now B right here says I'm going to do 2 times x times y minus z. And sometimes it's really helps if you actually say that out loud so you know what you're doing, or at least say it inside your head. So you get 2 times 4 times 3 minus, and then z is equal to 1. So 2 times 4 is 8, times 3 gives us 24, minus 1 gives us 23. Now this last one down here, it's got r plus s, and it's all on top of that, on the top part of that fraction, on the numerator. So that means I got to add those together before I actually do any division. So putting that whole bar right there actually kind of implies that this top part is in parentheses. So this would actually be 13 plus 11. And I'm going to take the answer to that and we'll divide it by 2. So 13 plus 11 actually gives us 24 over 2. And 24 over 2 is 12. Okay? So evaluating expressions, you'll notice, is just plugging in values and then doing the math based on order of operations. Okay? Until next time.